The following video contains profanity and language that some viewers may find offensive. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films. Y'all, I am so excited to be able to say this. We are back with Fatal Seduction Season 2. Y'all, we have been on pins and needles. Are they bringing it back? 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 Now, I don't know. The buzz could have not been as buzzy over in the South Africa of it all. Because I'm not a South African. So I don't know what's happening, you know, in the entertainment space over there. But over here on Sister Girl on Films, y'all were definitely like commenting under my old recaps and like, do you think it's coming back? Like, I hope it's coming back. And I'm like, girl, same. I have no idea. But if you did not watch my season 1 recap, please go over there and check those out so you can kind of get a feel for what the vibe is over here. I don't recap the entire season in one video. That's crazy. I don't binge watch. I'm not that girl. I'm not binge watching anything. I don't have time for that. So I'm going to break it up into 3 parts, okay? So part 1 is going to be episodes 1, 2, and 3, which we're doing today. Part 2 will be episodes 4, 5, and 6. And then part 3 will be the remainder of the episodes. So there's only 10 episodes this season. Praise God, because last time it was 14. And I just felt like, if y'all remember from last time, I said we could have stopped at episode 13. We could have been done. Let's briefly kind of rehash, you know, what happened at the end of season 1, right? So at the end of season 1, y'all, a lot unfolded. So our boy Leonard ended up in a coma, okay? Z stabbed him, thought he was a intruder attacking Nandi at the crib. She stabbed him up, got him in the hospital, right? So Nandi and Jacob got framed by Voyo for the attempted murder of Leonard as like a crime of passion. And then also Nandi was accused of poisoning Leonard. So a whole thing. Now Voyo, if you like, girl, who's Voyo? So Voyo is Z's uncle daddy, okay? Because Nandi is married to Leonard, who is Voyo's brother, right? And so Voyo and Nandi messed around one good time back in the day, and she ended up getting pregnant. Her and Leonard ended up getting married. Leonard knew the baby was Voyo's. He like, I ain't telling my brother, we together, I love you, you my woman, that's my daughter now. So eventually it came out through Leonard dealing with all of his skeletons in his closet, okay, that Voyo is Z's daddy. So Voyo's pissed off. Now, mind you, we're thinking that he's going on vengeance tour because he feels betrayed by Nandi and Leonard. Whole time, Voyo has been on this quest of revenge and vengeance since episode 1, season 1, because he knew that Brenda had killed herself. He knew that the whole damn time. So he'd been setting up all these plays and all this shit and turning this person against this person, making Leonard go crazy. Nandi setting her up. Nandi just gave him more ammo because she started messing around with Jacob. It's just a whole thing, y'all. So that's where we stopped at the end of season 1. Voyo got his revenge. Leonard's in a coma. Nandi's in jail. Z is living with Voyo. Don't know she's his daughter yet. I'm sure this will come out at some point, hopefully in season 2. But she's living with her favorite uncle, her only uncle child. And Jacob is gone on the run. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into episode 1 of season 2, Sins of the Father. So just like season 1, season 2 opens with a montage of all like the sexy scenes that we're going to end up seeing throughout season 2. One of my concerns about this season is that I hope they don't overdo it with the sex. I feel like season 1 had enough sex in it that it kind of just helped carry the story along. The sex made sense and it kind of just gave the seduction part of it, right? But then eventually the sex kind of dwindled down a little bit and it was just all about the thrills and the action and the mystery and the story. So I'm hoping this episode and all the other episodes are going to follow that trend, because I forgot to mention we did end on some like BDSM type of shit with the minister and Peaches and We'll get to it. So at the end of this opening montage, we see Nandi is going into what appears to be like a sex club, and she busts into a room and Jacob is choking Z. So hopefully this is like some sort of dream, because they love a good dream sequence in this show. But we'll get to it, because apparently, according to this opening scene, Jacob at some point is going to kill Z. I don't know. Once the episode gets going, we go back to 11 years ago with the crime scene of the minister's daughter being found, with Voyo leading the case and Leonard being the prosecutor at that time. But this time we're seeing it from the point of view of the minister. So of course he's distraught. He's upset that his young daughter has been found dead, and Voyo is concerned like, this is going to be bad, because he's going to do whatever it takes to find out what happened to his daughter. So then we fast forward to the present, where the minister is having like a benefit, like a charity event for his daughter that was murdered. And the minister is basically trying to raise funds for the foundation and asking people to donate whatever they can, because they don't want any other child to ever have to experience the horrors, that his daughter had to experience. And so at this charity event, this journalist jumps up and he's like, when are you going to tell the truth about what happened to your daughter? Like, what are you and Leonard, he didn't call him Leonard, he called him Judge, whatever his last name is. But listen, I forgot to put this disclaimer in here. Some of these names I struggle to pronounce, so I do the best that I can, or I call them the easier version of the name. So I could never say Leonard's last name, so I just call him Leonard, okay? So the journalist was like, Judge Leonard, what are y'all hiding? And so the minister gives the look to Peaches. Hey, y'all, listen. So I just realized that throughout the duration of this recap, I've been calling Precious Peaches. So my bad, y'all. In my brain, the name Peaches got stuck and I just could not let it go. I think maybe at one point I called her right name, but the character's name is Precious, not Peaches. My bad, y'all. I'll get it right for the rest of the recaps for the rest of the season. Sorry. They go ahead, escort the journalist out. They beat him up. And the journalist is like, this ain't gonna stop me from, looking into this. And Peach is like, it better. Because if not, something bad is gonna happen to you, pretty much. And so we see a little shot of Jacob like hiding in the bushes, taking a look and trying to see, because Jacob, he's out for vengeance, right? And at this point we're like, I thought she was still on the run. What's going on? But I guess he ain't on the run no more. I don't know. So the next scene, we see Nandi in the shower, and she looks over her shoulder, and here comes Jacob's fine ass joining her in the shower. And so just because we had just seen Jacob lurking in the bushes, I'm like, oh Lord, here go another Jacob fantasizing about Nandi. But no, actually this is Nandi fantasizing about Jacob. And so he got her up against the shower wall and he grinding on her. And then we start flashing in between what's actually happening in her fantasy. And what's actually happening is that Nandi is still in prison, and apparently now she got this thick-bootied Amazonian South American stud girlfriend in the prison house. I said, okay then. And so she getting banged on the wall by this lady chick in the jailhouse, telling this lady she love her. So I'm like, okay, I guess Nandi did what she had to do to make it work and survive in prison, which I don't blame her. There ain't no telling what you do. You get locked up in this type of situation. So after seeing Nandi get banged in the shower by her stud girlfriend, we get over to the hospital and we see that Leonard is still in a coma. They didn't necessarily say like how much time has passed, but it obviously has been enough, because now he got this little do-wobbity bop on the top of his head, like he's not bald anymore. So he has a whole unit, a whole piece on his head, and his beard is a little more scruffy. So one could assume it's been maybe a few months, since he's been in a coma. And so Z comes in to visit Leonard, and he's not really responsive. And she says she's sorry for not visiting, but she was trying to just live her life, and she had just came from Japan, and that's something that they always wanted to do, and that she loves him, and she's always just going to be there for him. So very much like still feeling guilty, obviously, because she's the one that, put him in this situation, and, just trying to maybe wrestle with the fact that both her parents are out of her life at this point, as far as she knows, because she don't know Voyo, her daddy, right? So back in the jail, we see that Nandi's boo, whose name is Fila, is getting out of jail. And so Nandi's a little nervous because she is Fila's woman in the prison. And so because of that, that has kept other women off of Nandi. Like, Fila's been protecting her. And so Fila like tries to reassure Nandi that, you know, my girl Tiny here, she got you. Like, you my woman. Everybody know that. They gonna respect that. They gonna leave you alone. I'm suspicious of Tiny because Tiny is really like looking at Nandi like she is a 3-course meal. And so I don't know why Fila feels like she can trust Tiny, but I guess Nandi feel like if Fila trusts you, I trust you. And so for right now, it seems like Nandi still has protection in jail, but for how long, we'll see. On the next scene, we have Voyo, who has lost a considerable amount of weight, like the actor. Like, he looks really good. And so he's in a tub, and he starts to have visions of Brenda. And Brenda, you know, basically says to him, like, what you're doing to Nandi is not right. Like, she does not deserve what you're doing to her. And this is not what I want from you. Like, you said that you will give me justice, and that's what I want from you. And so he also envisions them having the sexuals. And then once they're done having the sexual, he just kind of sits there and still, you know, grieving Brenda, the loss of Brenda, the love of his life. And then also kind of being conflicted, this idea of like, on one hand, at the end of season 1, the minister, or Peaches, you know, basically told Voyo, you know, leave the Jiba case alone, like, move on with your life, and we will not kill, you know, your beautiful niece. So on one hand, he's trying to protect Z, but on the other hand, he wants to get justice, you know, for Brenda, you know, since she took her own life as a result of all of this madness and lies and cover-ups of this Jiba case. So Voyo is still very much a tortured soul in this season. But because of how he's treating Nandi, I don't have a whole lot of like sympathy for him, because I feel like he's doing the most. Next, we are outside of the sex club, which I feel like will be its own character within itself in this season. And we see the minister and Peaches and a couple of guards, and they're standing outside the sex club. And then the minister kind of looks around to make sure nobody's looking, and he puts on like this mask to cover his identity. But here's my thing. Sir, you're outside. You know what I mean? Like, you're outside. If you wanted your identity to not be revealed, didn't you ride in a car on your way to the sex club? Couldn't you just have rode in the car with the mask on, or put the mask on before you got off the car? I mean, it has eye holes, you can see. I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe it's just me. I'm nitpicky. But they put on their mask and they go into the sex club, and then we see Voyo is speaking around the corner. You know, he loves to take a good picture, being our inch-high private eye. And so he's keeping an eye out, because I guess now he's decided that he's going to get retribution for Brenda if it's the last thing that he does. Z be damned, I guess. Voyo goes into the sex club, and he's like kind of keeping an eye on the minister and Peaches, and like they're trying to get all freaky deaky in the corner, and then they look up and they see Voyo standing there. And he's just standing there like not doing nothing sexy. So obviously like, why are you here, bro? And then so he hightails it out the front door, limping his way out, because he still got his limp. And so obviously everybody know who the hell Voyo is at this point with that damn limp. So Peaches kind of chases him out until he gets outside to his car. And again, he takes his mask off before he gets in the car. Take the mask off when you get to the next stoplight or something, or when you get home. Why are you taking it off in public? Stupid. After Voyo's shenanigans at the sex club, Peaches makes a little trip to the jailhouse to visit Nandi. And basically she tells Nandi, look, you need to get your brother-in-law in check. Like, he needs to go ahead and let all this shit go about this Jiba case, or your daughter, it's going to be bad for her. And of course, Nandi is like, well, what the hell you want me to do? Like, I can't control him, and I'm in jail. So I don't know what you want me to do. And Peaches is like, well, you better figure it out. You better talk to him, or, you know, Z is not going to be doing good at all. And her birthday is coming up, so I'm sure you will want her to have a nice birthday. And so Nandi's freaking out, because she's like, what the hell should I do? My thing is, Nandi, you know, you're in a good position right now. Because my next thing would have been like, okay, well, if you want me to talk to my brother-in-law, I would need to be a little bit more comfortable in this prison. I'm gonna need some protection. I'm gonna need you to maybe make sure the girls know in here, don't fuck with me. Like, I'm gonna need some money on my books. I don't know. I need you to go ahead and bring something to the table other than, there's nothing I can do. Girl, I mean, you right, because Voyo gonna do what Voyo wanna do, but at least get something out the deal is all I'm saying, you know? We finally get to see our girl Z again, and she's feeling really lonely because her birthday is coming up. Her and Laura are not speaking right now. She's also upset because her mom is still in prison for her birthday, and so Voyo is making her breakfast, and she's like, hey, you know, is there any like type of procedures that I need to go through in order to be able to see my mom? Because I want to be able to visit her sometime soon. And Voyo is like, yeah, there's some things that you got to do. And Z is like, okay, well, can I go see her sometime? And so Voyo is like, happy birthday. I got a gift for you. He just completely ignored the fact that this child wants to see her mother. And so, you know, that did kind of distract her a little bit, but Z is still missing her mom, you know, and her best friend. And so because of that, you know, Voyo is going to have to figure that out. You know, I understand he's mad at Nandi and at Leonard for, you know, not telling him the truth about Z, but also if you love Z, even as her uncle daddy, like, she want to see her mama. And rightfully so. And so Nandi ends up calling Voyo. Nandi is like, I need to make sure that Z is good. Like, is she safe? And Voyo's like, yes, she's safe. And so Z gets excited because she sees the gift that Voyo gets her, and she kind of squeals a little bit in the background. And Nandi's like, oh my God, is that Z? Let me talk to her. I want to talk to her so bad. And Voyo hangs up in her face. Just cold-blooded. So we're back in the prison with Nandi, and again, I don't really trust this Tiny. And so Nandi is walking to the shower, and the white lady, again, I think her name is Hester, pulls up. And so Tiny is like about to square up with her, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, wait a minute, maybe I can trust this Tiny, you know, because she looks like she's ready to throw hands with this lady here.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Then all of a sudden they embrace, the lady kiss her on her forehead, and Tiny kind of smirks at Nandi. I'm like, I fucking knew it. And Nandi's like, Tiny. And Tiny is like, bye, bitch. She just walks away so slowly. And so come to find out, because of Leonard being the prosecutor, the head prosecutor and now judge in the city, Nandi went into jail with like a target on her back, because a lot of the women that are in jail because of Leonard. And so Hester is pretty much like, and I hope that's her name, y'all. It's pretty much like, your girl ain't here to protect you. And so, you know, you might as well go ahead and give me that box. You know, you might as well make it easy on yourself, because your husband put a lot of us in here, and you're gonna have to basically pay for what he's done, right? And so Nandi is saved by the bell because the guards call her and say that she has a visitor. And then we get a flashback to around the time when Nandi first got locked up, and Jacob comes to visit her. And so first I'm like, first of all, continuity, because he did not have a beard in season 1. I don't remember. Maybe he did at the end of season 1. I don't remember. But he has a beard in his flashback. So that's the first thing. Also, number 2, I'm like, I thought you were supposed to be on the run. So what you doing at this prison if you are on the lam for allegedly being a co-conspirator to a very prominent judge's death? Well, Jacob answers that question for me. He lets Nandi know that the charges have all been dropped. He's been free and clear. There wasn't enough evidence to really charge him with anything. And Nandi is like, oh, that's great, good for you. So while you get to be out here scot-free, I'm still locked up in jail, you know. But also, Nandi, yes, you're still locked up because you took the fall for your daughter, you know, stabbing her daddy, versus just telling the truth. Like, she thought it was an intruder and she stabbed him, like, and she thought she was defending me. She probably could have got off, you know what I mean? So Jacob pretty much tells Nandi in the flashback, like, listen, the old Nandi is dead. Like, you gotta toughen up, ho. Like, you gotta be, you that bitch. You locked up. You about to do your bid. You feel me? So you gonna have to toughen up, my girl. And so After Nandi has that flashback, she kind of starts to get a little bit more courage, right? We get back to present time, and the visitor is actually Voyo. And she's like, hey, who is this bitch that just came up to the jailhouse threatening me and my daughter? And Voyo's like, oh, don't worry about that. That's none of your business.
Bitch, I know you fucking lied.
Huh? What? What you mean? What do you mean? That's none of my business who that woman was. They're making it my business, fool. And so Voyo still has all this attitude, and Nandi is like, you know, they're trying to kill me in here, like they're trying to rape me, like I don't think you know what I'm going through. And Voyo pretty much says, you are getting exactly what you deserve. Like what you and Leonard did to me is unforgivable, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Which, sir, no. Her withholding your child, your niece, her paternity from you does not warrant her being locked up with women that want to murder and rape her. Like, sir, the two don't they don't go together. Now, if there had been something where you actually leaked that information to the press, you did like public shame or embarrassment, you got it leaked that she was sleeping with one of her students, got her fired, that feels like an appropriate consequence. But getting her locked up for years and years and years? Oh, sir, please. And so Nandi says, you know, Voyo, we're family. And I said, oh, girl. And Voyo was like, family? Were we family when y'all was keeping my daughter away from me? And I was like, okay. Yeah. All right, Nandi, you went a little too far with the family shit. And so Voyo's pretty much like, ho, you gonna have to sit in this shit because I'm not helping you with nothing, and I'm not backing off of this Jeeba case. So good luck, Chuck, and I'm out. And he leaves Nandi in distress. And so Nandi ends up getting another phone call from Peaches. Peaches is able to smuggle phones up in the prison via the guards. Nandi should have used that to her advantage, is all I'm saying. Peaches calls Nandi and is like, so what's the update? Did you talk to your boy? What's going on? And Nandi's like, no, bitch. Like, I told you, there's nothing I can do from in here. And so she's like, well, if y'all want Voyo so bad, then just kill this nigga. Like, get him. Like, believe me and my daughter alone. Fair. Like, she's like, he's the person you have an issue with. Like, handle that with him. And so Peaches hangs up on her, and she lets the minister know, like, she's not having any luck with Voyo, and she thinks that we need to go ahead and just get rid of him. And the minister is pretty much like, we can't do that, because if he dies, like, everything that he has on us is going to be released to the public. So we're going to have to go ahead and go with plan B, which plan B is harming, if not killing, Z. We're back in the prison with Nandi, and Nandi's in her cell, and all of a sudden she's taking a cute little nap, and her cell door opens, and it's the Hester lady. And so she walks up on Nandi, and she's pretty much like, listen, you might as well go ahead and let me take the box. You know, you might as well. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm here. Go ahead and drop them draws. And so I'm like, Nandi gonna have to fight for her virginity up in this prison. She gonna have to fight for her virginity in this jailhouse. She can't be meek and mild no more. And so again, she hears the voice of Jacob again, and she pulls like a little shank from underneath her pillow, and she jumps on top of the lady and is like, bitch, I will kill you. And so the chick is like, it's cool, baby. It's cool. Now, I ain't never been locked up, and I'm not a huge fan of like prison or jail content, but I would assume that if you pull a shank out on somebody in prison, you just might as well go ahead and use it, because now you thought you had a target on your back before. You definitely got a target on your back now. But Nandi ain't really thinking about that. She got the hell out of her cell. She's good for now, but is still like, I gotta get the hell up out this prison. To wrap up the episode, we see that Z is having a birthday party at her house. Voyo is not there for whatever reason. So Z is just in this house by herself with like all of these people who are like her classmates, people she really just don't know like that. Laura is still not at the party, so she's really sad about it. And so she goes into Voyo's office, and she sees a box on the desk, and the box is the gift that Nandi gave to Voyo when he went to visit her to give to Z for her birthday. And so she opens it. It's a necklace or a bracelet. It's a piece of jewelry. And then there's a letter from Nandi, you know, telling Z that she hopes she can see her soon and she loves her. She wishes her happy birthday. And so Z, of course, is upset because Voyo didn't give her the gift. He just put it in his office. And so while she's crying, she sends a message to Laura, and it's just saying, like, I feel so lonely in a house full of people and it's not the same. You're not here. My mom's not here. And this has just been terrible. And so while she's crying, a guy walks in. I was like, oh God, a random dude and Z. We know this ain't gonna go well. She don't do well with, she's just boy crazy. And so he comes in, his name is Clint. And he's just like, are you okay? Like, is there anything I can get for you? And Z is just kind of a little bit leery of him, but then he seems kind of nice. And so she's like, well, let's get out of here. He's like, yeah, let's just go to my car, listen to this album, you know, and just kind of vibe out. And so he knocks something off the desk on accident. He picks it up, and it's a CD, and it has Brenda's name on it. He's like, Brenda, what the hell is this? And Z is like, oh, wow, that's my aunt's name. Okay, well, let's take this too. They go to the car. They put the CD in thinking it's music, but lo and behold, it's the voice recording of Brenda calling Voyo before she killed herself. So now Z knows that Voyo knew that Brenda was gonna kill herself, and he didn't tell nobody. So Z is upset about that. She's drunk. Clint is confused what's going on, and all of a sudden, boom, they get T-boned. So the minister then got our girl Z, and that is where the episode ends. With Z, is she dead? Is she not? We don't know, because she's lifeless with her arm hanging out. Clint then left her in the car all beat up, and Nandi then woke up with her motherly instincts, letting her know that her baby is harmed. So that was the end of episode 1, and I feel like it was a good intro into the season. I think it did a good job of kind of letting us know where all of our characters are. And I even felt like it did a good job of introducing the minister officially, and Peaches and those villains, because the way season 1 ended, I wasn't a fan. I was like, it just felt out of left field. But they're starting to really like build this world in a way that I feel like I'm going to be able to get into it and really enjoy. So episode 1 was pretty good for me. But we got to know what's going on with our girl Z. Did she make it? Did she not make it? Is she going to be in the bed next to her daddy in a coma? We don't know. So let's go ahead and get into episode 2. So we are here with episode 2, Tearing Down the Walls. And so this episode opens with Voyo rushing to the hospital because he's found out that Z has been in an accident, and when we see her, she's still unresponsive. So again, we're not sure. Obviously, she's not dead, but we don't know if she's in a coma. How bad are her bruises? We're not quite sure. And then so the next scene, we see Jacob visiting his mother, which is good for Jacob, because I remember at the end of last season, Jacob had kind of resolved that he wasn't going to visit his mother anymore. You know, he had gotten the money to pay off from Voyo, and so, you know, he's putting his mom into a better facility, but he had kind of come to the conclusion that it just didn't make sense for him to visit her anymore. But now it seems like he's changed his mind on that, and he is visiting his mom again, and she looks better. You know, she got braids going, looking cute, and she seems a little bit more aware of what's happening. So when Jacob goes to see her, she's still like saying, she's holding a picture of Jacob's dad, and she's still saying, you know, why did he do that? Why did he do that? And Jacob is still like, no, mom, he didn't kill that girl. Dad was innocent. And his mom is like, well, who did it? And he was like, I don't know, mom, but I'm gonna find out. And so now Jacob even more is motivated to really get the truth out about, you know, what happened in the Benjamin Zeba situation, and be able to clear his father's name once and for all. So we're back at the hospital, and Z wakes up calling for Nandi, and Voyo was there, and he's like, hey, Z, I'm here. She's like, get away from me. I don't want you. I want my mom. And so the last thing Z heard was Brenda talking to Voyo about killing herself. So obviously she's really pissed off. And so because she's rejecting him, I can't tell if Voyo looks rejected or if he looks like he has a little bit of guilt, maybe a little bit of anger, maybe all the above. But he doesn't look pleased that Z is not happy to see him and that he can't comfort her, which you're doing this to yourself, my guy, but okay. Because of that, Voyo goes back to the sex club. But now he's undercover. At first I couldn't tell who it was. I was like, who is this sex worker? He need a little haircut, looking a little, okay, sir. But it was Voyo. Okay, I could tell his limp wasn't limping as much. But he goes into the room with a woman, with a customer, I guess. And she's like, ooh, you must be new here. She starts filling them up. And so come to find out, this woman is the prosecutor that's over Nandi's case. And so after her and Voyo are done doing the sexuals, he pretty much is like, all right, now that that's done, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and drop these charges against Nandi. And like, he reveals himself, he shows that he has a camera, and he was like, and if you don't, then I'm gonna go ahead and have to send this footage to your husband and then release it to the public. And so Voyo has used his dick for good. He has used his dick for good, and he has managed to get all the charges dropped against Nandi. And our girl Nandi is out of the clink, honey. Period. So our girl is free. Next, we are at the minister's house, which is beautiful estate, like gorgeous. As per usual, the visuals in the show are immaculate. And so the minister goes to breakfast, and he sees his wife, whose name is Delisiwa. I think I said that right. I could be wrong. He's reading an article, and it's pretty much like, what is the minister hiding? And it's from that same journalist from the first episode that kind of called him out at the charity event. And so the minister's wife is like, listen, when they go low, we gotta go high. I said, God damn it. Michelle, why did you ever say that? It's not when they go low, we go high. When they go low, we go to hell, baby. We go to hell. I know Michelle rules the day. Why did I ever say that to people? But anyway, the minister wife says that, we need to pray for these people. So while they bow their head in prayer, they pray over the food, she's praying over the people. The minister is looking at this paper like, pray my ass, I'm about to fuck some shit up. So when Nandi gets out of prison, she is picked up by Voyo. And she gets in that car and she said, you raggedy bitch. And she starts swinging on him, as she should. Same, sis, same. I would have been swinging on Voyo too, because you got me messed up, my guy. And so he's like, Nandi, calm down, calm down, calm down. Z's been in an accident. And so that calms her down a little bit. But I would have had one good time, but Voyo might hit her back. Don't swing too hard, Nandi. Okay, he's kind of crazy. So they go to the hospital, and Z is excited, but also a little apprehensive about seeing her mom. And she's like, did they just let you leave because I'm out of the hospital? And then Nandi lets her know, like, no, like they dropped the charges, like there wasn't enough evidence. And so Z's kind of side-eyeing her, and she's like, and I did not poison your father. I promise I didn't have nothing to do with that. And Z is like, well, then it must have been Jacob. And so Nandi looks over her shoulder at Voyo. She's like, yeah, it was Jacob. It was him. He did it. And so Z is like, we need to make sure like we are protected from him. Like, I'm scared of him. I don't want to have nothing to do with Jacob. And Nandi is like, baby, don't worry about that. We just need to make sure you're okay, but I am home and everything is going to be okay. So in the waiting room of the hospital, Nandi confronts Voyo, and it's pretty much like, you're still doing this shit with the minister. Like, they have told me that if we don't stop, leave this alone, they're going to hurt Z. And this is exactly what they did. Like, is this not enough for you to leave this alone? And Voyo is just pretty much like, no, I got to get justice for them. Like, you're out of jail. Like, that's that. But Z will be okay. Like, I beefed up the security at the house, so we should be fine. And Nandi is like, beefed up security at the house? He is the minister of the police. You see what he did to our daughter, since you want to keep saying our daughter. You see what he did to our daughter, and you talking about you beefed up security. Like, he obviously don't give a damn about no beefed up security. And so Voyo, he's still on this. Like, he still wants to get justice for stank ass Brenda. And so he ain't letting up on the minister. And so now Nandi is still in this space of trying to protect Z, because Voyo, as per usual, is on his own shit and don't give a damn about nobody else, because he has to get vengeance. He gets on my nerves. So while Z is packing up and getting ready to go home from the hospital, Voyo is trying to help her. She's like, get your raggedy hands off me.
Get your fucking hands off me.
Voyo was like, what's wrong? Like, are you upset because I wasn't at your party? She like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to go home. And obviously we know that Z is upset because, again, the whole situation with Brenda. And then also because he didn't give her the gift that Nandi got her. And so Voyo is just looking kind of just defeated at this point, which I don't give a shit, because Voyo's been pissing me off since the second half of season 1. So he's still pissing me off. So I don't feel bad for him at all. And neither should you. So while they're at the hospital, Nandi's like, well, shit, while I'm here, I might as well go on up to the 9th floor and go see this nigga Leonard. And so she goes up there, and then she sees his nappy ass head, and she turns and leaves.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute.
That's not what happened. She opens up the door to his room, and then she starts to having flashbacks of like his affair with Brenda. And she like, I ain't ready to talk to him right now. And then she leaves, which, girl, fair. I still feel like she should have went in there, covered his face with a pillow, and just ended his misery and everybody else's. That's all I'm saying. Once they get back to the house, Z starts, trying to get back settled at home. She's still banged up pretty bad, but she's just happy to be home, happy her mom is back home. And so Nandi, after, I don't know, whatever undisclosed amount of time, is walking around the house and sees her house and is getting emotional, and she goes up to the bedroom, and of course that's where Voyo is staying. She flips out. She's like, get your shit and get out. And she waiting to exhale his shit over the balcony, so she throws his clothes out. Voyo is downstairs. He looks, he sees this stuff going on the balcony. He just shakes his head while he drinks a cocktail, and again, rightfully so, like, Nandi is pissed off. And again, I believe she has a right to be, because she didn't deserve all of what Voyo determined that she deserved to go through. Not at all. We find out that Voyo actually has an informant on the inside with the minister, whose name is Moses. And he meets Moses and he's like, hey, what new information do you have? And so Moses is like, I really haven't had a chance to get new information. And Voyo was like, don't play with me. I will ruin your life. Give me the information I need on this Jeeba case, or it's going to be up for you. And so poor Moses is like, okay, I got two fucking crazy ass motherfuckers on both sides of me. Whatever shall I do, right? So we'll see if this informant is able to come through for Voyo. So then we get a news, kind of like a news briefing, like a special news break. And come to find out, the president of South Africa is having health issues. So he's having issues with his heart. He's having high blood pressure, much like the president of America. But unlike the president of America, the president of South Africa in the show is being encouraged to step down. And so if he steps down, the person that's next in line to become the deputy president of South Africa is the minister. Child. So now this psychopath is going to have unlimited power. I would say it's surreal, but we're living it in real time here in this country. So not that unbelievable. Real life is playing out right in front of my eyes. And so because of this, the minister lets Peaches know, like, listen, the stakes have gotten even higher. Like, if we don't clean this shit up, if we don't get Voyo under control, if we don't get this journalist under control, that could mean that I'm not going to be able to take over as the president. So we need to go ahead and nip this shit in the bud. So Peaches calls Nandi again, and Nandi is like, bitch. She didn't say that, but she needs to. What did I tell you? I can't control Voyo. You motherfuckers are the most powerful people in South Africa. If you can't control him, how can I? That's what Nandi should have said, but she didn't. She's just like, I'm trying. I don't know what to do. And Peaches is like, try harder, ho. or it's gonna be up for Z. So try harder. And so Nandi is like, what the fuck do I do? And so she, again, feels helpless because Voyo is going to do what the fuck Voyo wants to do. So we finally get our girl Laura. Laura is back. And so let me just say this. I did get some comments under my recap videos about asking why didn't I talk about the relationship between Laura and Z in my season 1 recaps. The reason why I didn't talk about their relationship is because I felt like the whole plot with Laura and Z and their romantic will they not type of vibe, it didn't make any sense to me in terms of like plot. It didn't do anything to move the story along. So I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to really cover that, because what was the point? Like, it didn't do anything for me. So I didn't feel like it was an important storyline to cover. So that's why I didn't talk about it. So I don't know if I might talk about it a little bit more now, but our girl Laura is back. Okay. Of course, Z is excited to see Laura because she's her best friend, you know, and I think also Z has feelings, romantic feelings for Laura too, but I also feel like Laura even kind of clocked it that Z is kind of like not quite confident in her sexuality and what she wants to do and who she's attracted to and all of that. So I feel like Laura is just like, I'm not even gonna touch that. Like, it is what it is. We're friends and we're just gonna be friends. And so come to find out, the reason why Clint was at Z's party the other night was because Laura and Clint worked together.
Suspicious. That's weird.
Clint was invited to Z's party by Laura. And so Laura did in fact show up to the party, but by the time she got there, Z was already gone. Now here's my thing, because Clint, now I'm starting to question you, because if you were invited to Z's party by Laura and you knew Laura wasn't there yet, why would you leave with Z? Why didn't you tell Z that Laura was on her way to the party, unless it was supposed to be a surprise? But even so, you should have kept Z at the party. You know what I'm saying, y'all? I don't trust this Clint. Hey, y'all, it's editing me. So I forgot to mention while I was doing my review about the scene where Moses, Voyo's informant, botched the whole informant situation of it all. So he takes the minister's coat into his office where the safe is, where Voyo wants Moses to break into, and he gets the information out. It's like a little drive that has the information for the Jeeba case. But then as he's leaving out of the office, the minister catches him. And he's like, hey, I thought you had already left. And Moses is like, oh, I forgot your jacket in the car, so I had to go back and get your jacket. Now, mind you, the jacket is sitting on the chair right by the damn door. So the minister looks at the damn coat, looks at the back of Moses' big ass head, and is like, oh, this bitch is trying to set me up. So I forgot to mention that, y'all. We get another scene for the 9,000th time of Nandi trying to convince Voyo to stop looking into this case with the minister. Like, she is trying to tell him to stop. And so Voyo was like, I told you I'm done. Like, he did tell her, he did lie. After Z got hurt, he said he was done, right? And so he's like, I'm done with it. I'm not touching the case no more. Like, I'm done. So he gets like a phone call, text message or something. She's like, well, who the fuck is that? And he's like, I didn't know you was my wife. I didn't know I signed up for that. Like, I just got a phone call. It's something about the bar. That's it. I'm about to go check on the bar. And so Voyo leaves out and Nandi follows him. And so while she follows him to like this warehouse. And then while she's there, he's like yelling out Moses, and Moses is like, I'm over here. And then she sees Voyo shoot and kill Moses. And so I'm not sure, maybe it wasn't Moses, I don't know, but it looks like that's what happened. I'm not sure what's up with that. And then the last scene of the episode, we see Peaches at her apartment, and there's a guy like seeming like a new neighbor trying to get in, and we already know who it is. And so she goes up, helps him out, come and find out it's Jacob. And so now Jacob, he got a plan of his own, and we already know Jacob is not opposed to using his dick to get what he wants from women. And that was the end of the episode. So episode 2, it was cool. It was a cool little episode. I'm glad Nandi is out of prison. I didn't want to have half the season of her living out Orange is the New Black. I didn't want it. Nandi is just not the character that needs to be locked up in prison. She's very weak in terms of like having like that fight about her. It is what it is. And she would have, after a while, she would have got torn to pieces up in prison. So I'm glad she's out. I'm glad at least Voyo used his penis for some good in the show. And it's funny because Nandi said to him, she was like, so it was just that easy. Like, you just could have talked to the prosecutor and just got me out. He didn't respond to that. But I'm thinking, girl, I mean, it was easy, but it wasn't that easy because he had to lay it low and spread it wide and drop that thing down in that lady.
Lay it low and spread it wide. You don't care who it is. What?
To get her to drop the charges on you. So it wasn't really that easy. So this is a cool little episode. Again, setting up the things. Again, I'm really enjoying how the minister, how he's getting brought into this and how we're really getting like the backstory on him and really like what his motivation really could be, and even the threat of him gaining even more power and how that could really like put the nail in the coffin really of getting the truth out about what really happened to his daughter. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this part 1. We're getting into episode 3, Sand Through the Fingers. This episode opens with Fila working as a janitor. It looks like maybe like a hotel or something. But she's working as a janitor and she gets a phone call from Hester. And Hester calls her and is like, hey, you know, I know you happy your girl is out. And Fila's like, what you mean? And she's like, Nandi, she got out. Oh, you didn't know. So she's trying to like sow discourse, you know what I'm saying, between Fila and Nandi. And so Fila's looking a little pissed off, like, that's my bitch. And she didn't tell me she was out. Oh, hell no. So, now Nandi got more shit to worry about than just the minister and Voyo and Z and Jacob. Now she got to worry about Fila thick Amazon ass. Ooh, that lady is thick, ain't it? In a good way. Next, we see Jacob at his new apartment, and he approaches Peaches, who is at the poolside, and he tries to flirt with her a little bit. But Peaches, you know, is a femme fatale, so she's not really going for it. So she kind of ignores him, but she's also kind of checking him out a little bit. So Jacob ain't new to this. He true to this, okay? Jacob, if he don't know how to do nothing else, he know how to wield that thing to get what he want from any woman that is willing to sit on it and spin. So I'm sure seeing that young, fine tenderoni is a huge shift from seeing that bony ass minister and his little flat little cheeks strapped up to the little thing so she can yeah. I'm sure Jacob is a welcome change for Peaches, okay? So Jacob introduces himself to Peaches as Jacob Tao, which I'm like, well, why would you tell her your real name? Like, if anybody is going to research who you are, it's going to be Peaches, right? And you know who she is. And so it seems that this is probably part of Jacob's plan, because she immediately goes to research Jacob and she sees that he was connected with Nandi. She sees that he was accused of the attempted murder of Leonard. And so that kind of, you know, she's kind of curious now, like, oh, what's up with him? And so now they both are kind of probably side-eyeing each other. And so I'm curious to see how this actually plays out, because we know Jacob is good at lying and making women believe things. So we also know that Peaches thinks she's the smartest person in the room, you know, being the badass that she is. And so would she suspect that he is up to something, or will she think that she is outsmarting him? I'm excited for this dynamic. I can't lie. This is a storyline I'm excited to see play out. Plus, they're two beautiful actors, so I'm looking forward to their sex scenes.
Some of my bitch.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So next, Clinton shows up to Z's house. First of all, how the fuck do you know where this lady lives? How do you know where Z lives? But anyway, so he shows up to Z's house to apologize to her. And And so he explains that, you know, he ran off because he has an issue with the police and he got really scared and he didn't want to leave her, but he just kind of panicked. And so that's why he left. And of course, Z believes it and she forgives him because she's boy crazy. So any boy to her a lie, she's going to run with it every single time. Side note, they really toned down Z's look this season with like her makeup, but she's so beautiful. Like the actress, she's so gorgeous. And all of her looks are still giving. Like, I love her hair. Like in this episode, she was rocking an afro for a bit of the episode. Whoever styles the character for Z, 10 out of 10. Z is always serving the looks, okay? Z agrees to go with Clint, which pisses off Voyo. And so somehow Z, I guess maybe on her way back to the house, Nandi sees Z in the car with Clint, and so she calls Voyo, and she's like, who the hell is Z with? Like, she's in danger. Like, why is she just out all willy-nilly? And so Voyo is like, well, come and get me and we can go find. She's like, no, send me Z's location and I can go see where she's at, because Voyo can't find his car keys. And so Voyo sends Nandi the location, and while she's driving to Laura's house, pretty much, Nandi gets cut off by Peaches, and Peaches gets out the car and she's like, you already know what I'm here for, ho. What's up? And Nandi is like, oh my God, how many times do I have to tell you? I'm trying. And Peaches is like, well, you're trying, it's just not good enough, Bookies. So we're going to need you to even try even harder, or we're really going to have to amp it up with Z. You already see what we could do once, we can do worse. And she shows Nandi a picture of Z. So you want to know where your daughter is? Here she is. To basically show her, like, we're not playing with you. We know where your daughter is at all times. We got all eyes on her at all times. So get Voyo together. What I don't understand, I'm like, Nandi, throw that puss on Voyo.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Throw that thing on him. Nandi, I'm just saying, your vagina is kryptonite. You've learned this. You had Jacob going crazy. You can get Voyo to do whatever you want. Just... and he'll stop looking up shit, I'm assuming. So once Nandi gets back home, she confronts Voyo about pretty much the night that she followed him. She kept it real. She's like, I followed you. You went and I saw you kill somebody. And Voyo was like, what? Me? Me? Kill somebody? Never. I never. And she was like, Voyo, what the hell is going on? You told me you was done with this Jeeba case thing, and obviously you're still not done with it. And so he finally had to come clean that he had an informant on the inside and he didn't shoot him. Like, when he got there, somebody shot Moses. And Moses had a note in his hand that said, Voyo, you killed me. And so it seems that Voyo was actually shooting at the person who shot Moses. And so now it's clear that the minister knows what's up. But also, Moses wasn't very smart about his whole sneaking and creeping with the whole safe thing. Like, it took him forever. He didn't seem like a good pick for informant, Voyo, is all I'm saying. Like, yes, he was the inside man. He was his driver, his butler or whatever. But he got caught up so quick. And then the lie he told was so stupid that, like, I don't know. Like, that plan was doomed from the beginning, obviously. So the next day, Nandi goes for a run. And while she's going for a run, Fila's kind of parked a little bit away from the house. And she calls out Nandi's name, and Nandi's like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh, Fila about to whoop her ass. But Fila seems to really like love Nandi, honestly. And so she's like, I'm glad to see you're out. You know, I really wish you had reached out to me, but like, are you okay? How are things going? So they kind of get caught up. And so Nandi ends up telling Fila about everything that's going on. And Fila's like, I'll protect you. Like, I'm always going to be here for you and all this yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, girl, you were prison bae. I don't know if you know this or not. Like, what happens in jail stays in jail. When people get booed up in prison, it's a matter of survival. But then once I get out, I am living my heteronormative life. At least Nandi is. And so I guess, you know, Fila is like, no, like, you my woman, and it is what it is. And so Nandi, on one hand, it seems like she's a little like taken aback by it, but then I don't know if this is part of her scheme, but then it seems like there's a part of her that actually like probably really did like and maybe even love Fila a little bit, maybe because she protected her and she was her confidant in prison. And Nandi just appreciates that she can talk to her and feels like she can talk openly to somebody without being judged about what's going on. And so Fila is like, well, you ain't got to worry about it. Like, I will protect you and your daughter. Like, just tell me what you need and I got you. And I'm like, ugh, this is gonna get messy. This is gonna get really messy, because I have a feeling Fila does not give side chick vibes. Fila gives, I want to be with you, I want to start a family with you, we're gonna be together, you're not gonna keep me secret. Sure, please. So we get back to Jacob and Precious's apartment complex. So Precious has broken into Jacob's apartment, and so she's looking around, and she sees some of his drawings and stuff. Y'all know he likes to draw his hoes, and so she sees one particular picture, and we get a flashback. So now we're starting to learn a little bit more about Peaches. And in this flashback, we see that Peaches was abused as a child. She has like these like whip marks on her back. Maybe she was beat with a belt, and her mom was like, you know, I don't know why you're looking at me, you made me do this, I told you to behave and I wouldn't have to hurt you, type of deal. And so now we're starting to get a little bit more depth and a little bit more about who Peaches is, and maybe even starting to find out why she's okay with being in this dominatrix role with the minister, and maybe what that does for her in terms of like healing. We don't know. We'll probably get there. And so while she's rummaging through Jacob's stuff, Jacob comes home, and so she kind of sneaks off to hide. And so while he's there, he's on the phone. His mom has had another episode, and so he seemed like he's probably about to get dressed to go see his mom. And so he gets naked to get in the shower. Peaches sees him, and she likes what she sees, honey, okay? And so Jacob, even though he doesn't like call her out, he kind of knew that she was there because the drawing that she was looking at was on the floor. So he kind of put two and two together. So he kind of smirks as he hears her like step away because she thought he was in the shower. And so I'm like, this was part of his plan. Now I know he didn't know that that picture was going to do anything for her, but he very well knows that he got Peaches right where he want her. Okay, now. So we're back at Nandi's house, and Nandi is in the shower. Ironically enough, she's in the shower. And so her and Z asked Nandi if she wants to go to the hospital to visit her dad. And so Nandi doesn't hear her because she's in the shower. And so while Z is in the bedroom, the phone rings. She answers it. It says unknown caller. She answers it, and it turns out to be Jacob. So she's like a deer caught in headlights, and she hangs up on him. And so Nandi comes out the bathroom, and she's like, Jacob just called you. And Nandi's like, what? And Z is like, I can't do this Jacob shit. She's like, is this why you're so distant and closed off, don't really want to go see dad because you're still dealing with Jacob? Like, what the hell is going on? And so Nandi is like, I didn't even know this nigga had my number anymore. Like, I'm not talking to him. Like, I am done with Jacob. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, he's not going to be in our life. And so Z is just like, I can't be in this house. I just need to get away from you. And Nandi is like, don't want her to know she's in danger, but also feels like, girl, you cannot be leaving. She's like, no, Z, you just need to talk. Like, you need to stay here with me. And Z is like, you don't get your hands off me? I said, if she don't get her hands off you, then what? What you gonna do, Z? And then she said, I will never talk to you again. I said, oh, okay. Because I knew you weren't about to threaten your mama. I knew that one wasn't about to happen. So Nandi's upset. She calls Pila. I think we call her Fila. Pila. She calls Pila. And she, starts to vent to Pila, and she's like, Z is upset with me. She tells her about the whole Jacob situation, which I'm sure she probably knew about Jacob. She's like, Jacob called me, and Pila is looking like, bitch, what? Don't worry about that. Jacob called me, and Z answered the call. Now she's upset, and I'm scared. She's in danger. I don't want anything to happen to her. And she lets Pila know all the things. And Nandi said, so I wish somebody could just like kill the minister, basically what she said. I wish she could just be out of my life like forever. And Pila was like, I can handle that for you. And Nandi was like, I was just playing. And Pila was like, but I'm not. And so Nandi and Pila end up like coming up with a plan to take the minister out. Ambitious. Smart, hell no. So then we get a shot of Pila. She's all dialed up and she's on her way to the sex club. And she's talking to Nandi. She's like, I'm on my way there. And Nandi is still like, Pila, like, you do not have to do this. And Pila's like, look, you are my woman and I'm going to do this for you. And Nandi tells Pila she loves her. And Pila's like, I love you too. And don't worry about this. I'm going to take care of this. And so Voyo walks in on Nandi on the phone. And Nandi ends up telling him the whole thing. She's like, this is my side bitch from jail. And she going to go kill the minister. So that's what's up. It's like, girl, why are you telling him all the business? And Voyo was like, you gonna do what? He was like, this ain't no jailhouse skirmish type shit. Like, this is real life. Like, you saw what these people did to Z. You don't think they ain't gonna do worse to us? Like, they don't care about nobody. Like, ain't gonna be no loose ends. Like, they not playing with y'all. And so Nandi is like, shit, damn. So she decides, well, I gotta go there and I gotta stop this shit. Like, you're right. Like, what the fuck am I thinking? And so she gets all dialed up, titties all up. Y'all know Nandi got the knockers in the booty. She was looking good, honey. Little swoop-de-doop hair. Nandi was looking good. And so Voyo was like, just go, just be safe. And so Nandi goes to the sex club. Our girl Pila is there. She's ready to like take the minister out. She sees him. She just clunking around. Cause again, I said she's a stud child. So she tried to put on the wig and the makeup. Body is tea, but she clunking around like Shrek because she just ain't gonna have that in her. You know, it is what it is. And so she sees the minister. She gets ready to take action. And then here comes Nandi swooping in with her little mask on. They all wear masks. And she whispers something to the minister, and then she dips off. And then the minister turns, looks at Pila, and is like, Blade. And then everybody like starts chasing Pila, and she runs outside. And Nandi is in there with the minister, and she sees Peaches and the minister. So now they're looking like, can we trust her? And then the minister, it's pretty much like, where is this lady? Where did she come from? And Nandi was like, Voyo sent her. Say, yes, Nandi. She's like, I done tried too many times to talk to this Negro. Now I'm just about to set your ass up because enough is enough. And so now she done told the minister that Voyo done sent somebody in to kill her, which is crazy. And so the minister was like, wow, Voyo is taking this to the next level. Now shit is going to have to amp up with him. And so as Nandi is leaving, she calls Pila. She's like, did you do it? Did you go through with it? I said, Nandi is really leaning into her villain era. And Pila is like, no, I'm so afraid. Like, I'm outside. Like, these people are trying to get me. Like, I couldn't do it. Somebody ratted me out. And so I'm like, damn, Nandi gonna let Pila get killed. But Nandi ends up seeing like a fire alarm. She hits it. The guards run to look for the alarm. And so Pila is able to get away. Now that Nandi has, told the minister that Voyo was the one that sent a hit out for him, the minister and Peaches pretty much told Nandi, like, you got 24 hours to take care of this, whatever take care of this is. So now Nandi has 24 hours to do whatever plan she got up her sleeve. I don't know. But that was the end of episode 3. And episode 3 was good. Again, like, I'm loving the character development. I feel like that was a strong part of season 1 where they really like developed these characters and the backstories and the history, and it didn't feel like it was filler. It felt like it really helped us to either connect with the characters or really start to hate them as villains. And I'm really excited for the character of Peaches. First of all, she's beautiful. This actress is gorgeous. Everybody in this damn show is gorgeous, but she's beautiful, and I'm curious to her story because it seems so complex. But then also, it's gonna be one of those things where she's so villainous that I'm like, don't try to humanize her to me, because she's still doing some fucked up shit, and she's still working on behalf of this minister who is a deplorable human being. But again, I'm excited to see that dynamic between her and Jacob. And really seeing like what happens. Like, are they going to actually develop a real relationship, or is it going to be like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type deal where they're out trying to get each other, and it's really a relationship of convenience of we're trying to one up the other one. I'm excited to see it. So curious to see what's going to happen now that Nandi's plan has kind of really gone into motion. So everybody got a lot of plans going on here and a lot of chaos. So I'm excited for the next 3 episodes. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments below about episodes 1 through 3 only, y'all. 1 through 3. I have not watched episodes 4, 5, and 6 yet. So don't give me no spoilers, y'all. Don't tell me nothing. Especially you didn't watch the whole show. Hush! Let your girl, let me watch in my time. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments below. And as always, y'all like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see y'all next time where we'll recap episodes 4, 5, and 6 of season 2 of Fatal Seduction. Bye.